List down. Good afternoon, ladies. Once again, let me introduce myself. I'm Philip C. Fuentes, your qualified instructor of the bread and pastry production in situ. So at this point, I will show you some video about decorate and present bakery products. So watch.
Make it perfect that I'm going to share with you. So if you would like to learn how to make the most perfect buttercream, then just keep on watching. For basic buttercream, there are 3 ingredients you will need: room temperature butter, sifted icing sugar, and lastly milk. I'll have the quantities in the information box and a printable recipe on my website. Start off by adding the butter to a medium-sized mixing bowl or to a stand mixer. You will need to use some sort of electrical mixer to make this buttercream, as doing this by hand isn't really an option. Start to beat the butter. You will need to do this for about 5 minutes, which seems like a very long time, but it will make a huge difference. As you can see here, the difference between the butter at the start and after 5 minutes. The butter needs to be light and airy. It will double in size and lose a lot of its colour, which if you are not adding any colouring is really important. Scrape down the bowl a few times during beating just to make sure you're beating everything evenly. Once you've been beating the butter for at least 5 minutes and you have the right consistency, you're ready to start adding the icing sugar. Make sure you've sifted the icing sugar so there are no clumps. Add this about half a cup at a time, beating for a minute in between each addition so the icing sugar gets combined in well. The buttercream should start to get a lot thicker and harder to beat in the icing sugar when you have just the last bit to add. This is what the milk is for. Depending on what you are using the buttercream for depends on what consistency you would like. If you're piping, you'll most likely want a thinner consistency than if you were just going to spread it. Add the milk a teaspoon at a time, mixing until you have the consistency you would like. This is also when to add any flavourings or colourings. For piping the icing, I'm using a disposable piping bag and a Wilton 2D tip. I will have both of these listed in the information box if you are interested in them. Place the piping bag tip into the piping bag and fold the bag over so it's a lot easier to fill up. Fill the bag 3/4 full and twist at the top to seal. Now you're ready to pipe. Alternatively, you can just use a knife to spread the icing onto the cupcakes or a cake or whichever icing you would like to ice.
So, okay, ladies, that's all for today. Before we end our class, please perform 5S. And that's all. Thank you.